One. We're just chit-chatting today. We've skipped Monday because of it being a holiday, and we are now on Tuesday, but this is our Connections Over Coffee. And so we're just chatting, and Carmella and I, we were just having a chat about my granddaughter graduating, and then that made her remember about her daughter graduating, and so we were sharing stories. I want to welcome Judy, and I want to welcome Ruth and Debbie. And Carmella is my co-host here today. And also Ruth is my co-host here today. And so thank you gals for being on. And then I'll give a little shout out for Debbie. Debbie has her own podcast called Fireside Chat with Debbie Marks. And so for those that might be joining us on our Connections Over Coffee, be sure that you check out Debbie's podcast as well. Both of us are on meetup.com. That's the easy place to find us, and it'll click you right through to the Zoom link. So thank you for being with us today. So we were just sharing that my granddaughter Lily, for those of you that happened to see it on Facebook or saw me post, she's got that fire engine red hair. For some reason, she's decided that's her trademark. And of course, I had 25 years in the cosmetology industry before I retired. And I too did that to my hair when I first got into cosmetology at age 40 because I could. Because when I was working in corporate America, I was not allowed to get that crazy. And you know, I worked for the Old Boys Club, if any of you know what I'm talking about there, where we had to be in skirted suits with nylons, with heels, and that's how we had to dress every day. I see Debbie. And yes, I was running up and down those hallways, you know, because I was the banquet manager, and I was running up and down the back hallways in my high heel shoes. And then, of course, I ended up having to get on the roster for foot surgery when I retired. And the doctor says, how many years did you wear high heels? I said, too many. He goes, I can tell. So he said, get down into some flat shoes and with a wider toe box on the shoe. And of course, I don't want to run around in my Crocs all the time, but he said, get some sensible shoes. And he said, and let's see how long we can put off the surgery. Because he said, if we have to replace that toe joint in your big toe, which is what was coming apart, because of the high heels, he said, if we have to replace that, he said, it only lasts about 12 years. And he said, you're a little young. He said, for us to do that, and then for you to have to go through it yet again in 12 years. And he said, plus, he said, it cost about $30,000 a toe to do that. So,
Lord.
So anyway, I've managed to bypass the surgery altogether. I've now been retired for 7 years, and I have not had the surgery. I ended up finding something called A2M injections at a holistic doctor, and I got the A2M injections, and I am relatively pain-free unless I'm on my feet for a very long time. So I'm back into my dance shoes. Mark and I met ballroom dancing, and I'm back in my dance shoes again. I couldn't wear those for several years. So life is good. So anyway, that's out around the barn about me, but I had a good weekend. I'm in the middle of 3 or 4 property flips right now. You know, just call me Miss HGTV. Everybody says you should film these, and I'm like, no, because behind the scenes, I'm back there going, so you probably don't want that on tape. No, actually, I'm kind of like I am right now all the time. I really don't get like that.
We call you property girl.
Yeah, but it's not because I don't want to, because I do get very frustrated at what some tenants do occasionally. But right now, you know, it's all good. It's all good. Ada is on. Ada, I'm going to click so that you can at least chat with us. Ada is on listening. She declined to come up as a guest, but you can unmute and chat whenever you want. But anyway, yes, I did have a tenant, two out of my 4 actually had animals in the house after they agreed not to. And the animals, of course, ruined the floors. And so not only did we have to tear out all the carpet, we had to actually tear out some of the subfloors. So a $10,000 flip has now become a $30,000 flip on the one house, and maybe a $20,000 flip on the second one. So it's what it is. It's what it is. I just have to deal with it. So Carmella, hang on to your hat. This is what you get to face down the road as you start renting your places out. So it's what it is. I'm wearing my paint shirt today. I've been painting for a week now. I'm really behind in the office, but it's okay. Life is good. I'll get caught up. And so as soon as I'm done with the call today, I actually get to go paint again. So, so that's my world. So Judy, I know you stepped away from your camera. Do you want to share, or shall I move on to someone else first?
Sure,
Tell
I'll
us
share.
about, yeah, tell us about your weekend.
Well, have any of you ever had a tomahawk steak? No. Dead silence. Oh my Lord. That steak, the bone is like 16 inches long. And the steak was enough. I cooked it on Thursday night and I ate tomahawk steak all through the weekend and finished it last night. And my daughter she's a nurse, she kept saying, Mom, you're going to get E. coli if you don't get that out of the oven and get it in the refrigerator. But so far, I'm still alive. And I even weigh less than I did anytime this month. So I think it's good for my health. Otherwise, it's very strange being alone. This is the first time my husband died in September. And this
I'm
is the
so
first
sorry.
time. Thank you. Thank you. He was wonderful. This is the first time in my life that I've been alone. And having Memorial Day and like no picnic, no company, no nothing has been normal but strange. And I'm adjusting to that. But the whole idea of cooking for somebody besides myself, it doesn't exist. So I'm going to have to plan some more parties. I guess that's what's going on. Otherwise, I've been trying very hard to wrap up my book, which is the Cuyahoga, Our Beloved Crooked River. I have probably 6 more edits to do, but they rely on some counsel from some folks who work for EPA. And I just have to be patient. And maybe next time we chat, I will announce that I'm finished, because that would be a super day. I have a lot of fiction to get started, well, to finish. I have 2 fiction pieces that are well along. One of them's about 80% done, well, 90% done, and the other one's about 20% done. So those are my big goals for the next couple weeks. And otherwise, peace and quiet.
I do like the writing goal. That is so fun. And again, my income comes from my rentals, and so I have to kind of ebb and flow as tenants move out and move in and all of that, and do my painting and whatever I can do in between. But I can't wait to get back to writing as well. I do have a trip planned for Florida coming up here at the end of June. I have a move out while I'm gone, but you know what? I just said I'll deal with it when I get back. So they're going to move on out, and I'll just deal with that once I get back and flip that one. But in the meantime, I'm looking forward to doing some writing, Judy. I'm going to get in front of my computer and do some writing while I'm in Florida.
You do it. What part of Florida?
I own a condo in Sarasota, just a little tiny 1-bedroom, but it's a beautiful area. I'm just 10 minutes from Anna Maria Island.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, so we'll get some biking in, and we'll get some hiking in, we'll get some good seafood in, we'll get my feet up and get some writing done. Mark will, of course, be pacing because he'll be bored, but it's all good.
It's all good. Good for you.
Yeah. Carmella, how about you?
Well, you know me, it's been a busy week. I was at Mom's on Friday.
How's she doing? Is she better, worse, same?
She's doing pretty good. Seemed like 3 hours to get her to get dressed. And then she puts on, I go in to look at her. She's in a black dress, nylons, and heels. She has not worn heels like this in forever. So I said, you have a hot date or you going to a funeral? Your dad's taking me to Columbus to dinner. And I'm like, not today. Jade
Oh.
fixed spaghetti. So, I got rid of a bunch of stuff with her there. Normally Danny will take her out and get her out of the house because otherwise she's like underfoot and I can't get rid of things. But then Danny's brother popped up unexpectedly, and plus then her van was down, and I'm like, don't worry about it. So I managed to wing it. Saturday I had a training at church. Sunday I came back to Marion for a cookout at my sister's family's house, and it was a nice day, it stormed. And then yesterday I went to the Memorial Day parade. There's a guy that goes to my church and he lives on my street, but at the other end. And he's into photography and video recording, and he does a lot of that at church to he knows the edits and to do all that fun stuff. So he was taking pictures of the parade, and then I was video recording for him. So, and I did find out, I told someone, I says, the best spot to be at a parade is at the end because they empty their candy. And guess what? I had more candy thrown at me, but I was giving it to other kids.
They don't want
But
to take it home. I get it.
I don't want to take it home. I'm like, I never thought about that. But I'm like, when you're at the end, they're like ready to go now. So it's like they were tossing it. I did some driver's ed teaching. That's another job I've just taken on. I was asked, a girl, she goes, Miss Carmella, can you please go out with me driving? And I have patience that her parents don't have. And then I grilled out. I've been in the process of cleaning out my garage. Mom and Dad had a wrought iron table with chairs in their basement. My dad gave it to me. So I scraped it towards the end of last week. So I've been painting it like black,
Mhm.
and I gotta do the chairs. So it's kind of like, this is my project because I want to really do stuff in my yard, and I want to have that as my relaxation point where I can read and enjoy.
Yes.
Two of my neighbors have listed their houses for sale, and I told them I no longer like them because they have my favorite kids, like the one right next door. She has a little girl that I've bought for, and she only likes me for our cat because she's like, can I come over to play with the cat? Forget me. And then the one across the street, they've stayed an extra year, but her husband's in the military.
Ah.
And they have 3 girls. And the youngest is totally adorable and loving. And she's like 5 now, and she would always see me pull out, hey, Miss Carmella, how are you? How's your day going? And I'm like, what 5-year-old talks like an adult? And she's like, well, have a good day. You haven't had any problems, have you? And I'm like, no. I'm like, okay. But other than that,
Imagine her at 25.
she's probably going to meet the love of her life in kindergarten, and then they're going to go through school together. But then, with your dad in the military, I know maybe you won't keep in touch, but they're moving to North Carolina. So he's got to be there actually on my birthday in August.
Well,
But
look on the bright side, Carmella. You're going to get some new neighbors, and who knows what that's going to bring.
I know. Hopefully
Yeah,
some.
you could have some very special folks moving in soon.
But it's been a good week. And then this week I have to decorate. So I need to find some time in the evening to go to the church. I have a key so I can kind of go on my own time.
Mhm.
And we have Vacation Bible School starting Sunday night. And I'm decorating. And then I just heard on Sunday after church that's like, oh, Carmella, I didn't realize you were the director coordinator. It's like, neither did I.
You got drafted.
Like, you know what you're doing. So I've, I've, but then I got that creative mind. So the theme is start the party. So I found a huge, like, well, not big, but a boom box. So then I added to the side. So the desk where they're going to check in out is going to be one big boom box. I'm like, you come up with this stuff. So then I have like the disco balls and the colorful, like, things and flashing lights and stuff. I'm gonna have a blast with it, and we got a couple of things, but the pastor, he's like, I want to see you get on one of the inflatables outside and slide down. I'm like, not gonna happen because I don't want to have it on film. So I'm married to an attorney, so I know better.
How fun though. And Carmella, you always have these great ideas. I don't know how you come up with them, but they're amazing. So yeah,
Well,
you got to take some pictures.
well, you know what's really awesome, Kathy? I don't know if you remember, but before even Farley and I got married, I've always liked doing event planning and stuff because I'm my
Mhm.
organizer. One of the ladies at church is turning 60, and she's like, "How much do you charge to do for your parties?" And I'm like, nothing because I don't do it. And she's like, "Well, I'll pay you. I want you to decorate my party." She's like, "You decorate for all the events at church and everything always looks so fabulous." And it's something that I always loved, was soothing to me in the back. And now her birthday is like in July when she turned 60. So her daughter was doing most of it. Her daughter's like, Miss Carmella has the great ideas. Call her, talk to her, stop calling me, leave me out of it now. I paid for the hall, you do this. So so I'm kind of excited about that, and it's going to be like a costume, people dressing up, with the 60s retro and stuff. So
Well, you
I'm
sound excited about it. So it does sound like it's one of your passions. So if it were me, I would suggest you start taking some pictures and make yourself a little portfolio of different parties that you've done. And then if you do decide that you want to do it as some income, you already have a portfolio. You can show folks different ideas.
sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be a nice little project just to make yourself a little portfolio. And even on your phone, once you take pictures and put them in an album, you can actually send them out to get printed.
Oh, cool.
You can go to Canva and create yourself a portfolio and even put some writing around your pictures in Canva. And then on Canva, there's an option to print. Judy, you're muted. Unmute there. There's a little button in the bottom corner, a little microphone. If you click it,
I got it.
there you go.
Just asking, how do you spell Canva?
Canva, Canva. It's
Got
just
it.
and it's just a free version, and you can kind of scrapbook online is what it is. You can kind of do all your. It's just like scrapbooking, but you're doing it electronically, and then you can send it to print.
I'm
All
learning.
right.
I'm learning Canva. It's an
Mhm.
awesome thing. I do a lot of invitations that I've done for people. I've done it on Canva and tickets and things like that.
Yeah, I love it. Ruth, we're going to go over to you. Ruth, first of all, I want to say Ruth has to jump off because she's got a book club call at 1 o'clock. Am I correct? 1 o'clock our
Right,
time.
right.
Yeah. And you look so lovely today, and the breeze is in your hair. And I'm like, gosh, I want to be where Ruth is.
I'm turning up my volume. Is that about right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm outside, so you're going to hear some birds and you're going to hear some different things today. Uh, so yeah, we're starting a book club. Well, we've had the book club going. We've already done one book. Now we're starting a new one today, and we're doing Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. And it is going to be so good because it's so important for us to love and value ourselves. And if you're a person of faith, you've been taught that that's not important and the other person's more important. And that's not true. It's
Ruth,
you
I
allow.
actually got that book because of you. I actually bought the book, and I really wanted to jump on today, but I'm right in the middle of this rehab, and Mark is waiting for me to show up down there when I'm off this call. But I really wanted to get on today because I wanted to go through that book with you guys.
Kathy, go ahead and RSVP on
Okay.
Meetup, even if you can't come, because what I'm doing with this one, I didn't do it with the last one, but with this one, what I'm doing is the mastermind members that show up, I send them the replay. But then
Okay.
afterward, I will sit down and go over the material. And it'll be a shortened version. It won't be an hour. It'll probably end
Okay.
up being about 30 minutes. And I send that version out to anybody that RSVP'd on Meetup.
Okay.
So that way you won't get the interaction, but you would get the
Yes.
highlights.
And I listen, and I don't know about the rest of you on this call, but I listen to audiobooks and I listen to replays of Zoom calls. I listen all the time when I'm on the road driving. And for me, because most of you on this call already know, I have a guest house. I run like a little bed and breakfast, and I do all of my own rooms and my own laundry. And so I love to just put my headset on, and I can go and flip rooms and listen. And it gives me 2 or 3 hours a day that I get to immerse myself in the kind of material that I want to listen to. So anyway, so I love that. I will do that.
So, but yeah, life is good. Life is good all the time. It has its ups and downs, it has its valleys. But one thing that I'm thinking about, even from this book, when I was going through it, I'm going to give you this highlight. They said, when you feel like you're in darkness, darkness is the absence of light. So go to the window and clean the window.
Oh, nice.
That's very nice.
I like that.
You know, there's a story about that. And I've heard it, when I listened to Joel Osteen, he tells the story about, his wife is complaining that these people don't know how to do their laundry. And after enough time has gone by, he gets up real early in the morning and cleans the window, and she comes out and says, "Oh, she finally learned how to do her laundry." And he goes, "No, I got up early and cleaned the windows." And that is so true. So true.
So if you're feeling depressed, which all of us go through times like that, or we feel down, then, find the light and let the light in. And Judy, I see you. I honestly see you doing that. You're going forward.
Thank you.
And kudos to you. I don't know you well. I've just met you a couple times on this, but that's what I see in you.
God bless.
You've gone through, you're still going through a rough season. Losing a spouse is about the roughest you can have, but you're moving forward and you're figuring out what life looks like now.
Thank you, Ruth.
So yeah, I would say we're getting ready to enjoy summer. We had our first watermelon yesterday. Our daughter and family were out, and that's what my daughter said, because it's summer watermelon that's coming out now. And she says, "Summer's here, watermelon." So, but yeah, we're looking forward to a summer. It will be busy, but we're looking forward to it.
Good.
I love that. Ruth, thank you so much. And I am going to go in RSVP as soon as I'm off the call before I head out to do my painting.
Okay.
Debbie, how about you?
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I just want to add to the fact that Sunday night, my granddaughter graduated. So I now have 2 graduated from high school. And next year I'll have another one.
Wow.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I totally forgot my 2 in Charlotte. Don't tell anybody. But those 2. So I now have 4 granddaughters that have graduated from high school. Okay, so anyways, and that was nice. It was busy. We had to do it inside because of the possibility, and it was a good thing we do. Oh yeah. My husband just peeked in through the doorway and said, "And 2 will receive their bachelor's degree next year." So
Debbie, you're not old enough to have 2 receiving bachelor degrees.
I know. Well, and that's because they were homeschooled. And Ellie, who just turned 8, well, Kaylee is 19 or I'm sorry, 20, and Ellie is 18. She just turned 18. and they already have their associate's degree, their high school diploma, associate's degree, and in June next year it'll be bachelor's. And it's like, you're right, I'm not old enough. And that's okay. But anyways, it's been a busy month, you know, different things going on. On a sad note, my sister's husband, who she brought home on hospice, he's reaching the end.
Oh,
Sorry, Deb.
So it's
that's tough for the whole family.
it is, and she fired because the people that she had coming in to help, she found that they were stealing from her. So she said, that's it, I'm gonna do it by myself. And I don't blame her. And you know, and they were forcing him to do things, and he's not capable of it. And I'm sure Carmella can relate, you know. When they're not ready, I mean, when they're not able to do it, you don't force them. But anyways, so, you know, she's doing the best she can with that. But on a side note, she's actually learning to train purebreds to become, what's the type of dog or pet that they use for emotional,
Like emotional support.
that's it. Yeah.
Service dog.
Service dog, yes. And his name is Winston, and in June she's going to be getting the second one. And don't ask me the name of them, but they're not cheap. But she's doing that, and Winston's already had his first experience at a nursing home. And I'm telling you, she videotaped it. It was so cute. The people would put him in their little cloth basket on the front of their walker and would go walking around with him. And he would just, I mean, he's just so sweet. Let's see.
I like that name too, Winston.
I do. Yeah, I know.
That's a cute name. Isn't that a cute name?
Next. Oh,
Debbie,
yes.
before you go on, my sister does that.
She does.
She trains service dogs.
I didn't know that, Ruth. That's something else we learned about your family.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Cool.
They had one in their house a long time ago, decades ago, because her son has muscular dystrophy.
Yeah.
And so it helped with that. But then she doesn't do it all the time, but she does do it. She loves dogs. And her little Bella is qualified. It's certified, I think is the word, to be able
Yeah.
to go in and do some of that.
Oh, and I love that name, Bella. My daughter
Winston and
has
Bella.
my one daughter has her dog is named Bella. And before I forget, last month, or no, in May, I was to interview Judy, and things got cross-wired. But anyways, that later afternoon, Judy and I actually did the interview or whatever. I did it the next day. And it's now posted on my my YouTube channel. So
Good.
you've got to go and listen to it, because we talked for over an hour.
It
Okay.
was a blast, Debbie
It
Marks.
was.
You're so easy to talk to.
Well, thank
I
you.
love that.
So, and it was really good, and I learned so much. And yeah, it was a great interview. And this coming Saturday, well, Thursday, Lori and Chris and the girls are coming up for my granddaughter's birthday or graduation party Saturday night. And then the week after that, I'm going to go back to Charlotte with Lori and spend a couple weeks. I get to be in my she shed, which is her camper, and she parks it in the driveway. I'm so looking forward to that.
Well, see, that
And
gives you some downtime. That's your quiet time for you. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 2 computers are going with me so that I can do my writing. And
Perfect.
I don't know if you noticed, I was holding my cat in the beginning when I
Mhm.
first got on. I found her papers a month ago or something. And on April 16th, she turned 18 years old.
Oh
I
my.
was
Whoa.
like, wow. And so I know she's gonna miss me while I'm gone, but you know, um, but she doesn't really act like an old cat. So,
Now
oh,
are
and
you flying or driving?
oh no, I take too much.
Oh, so you're driving?
Yeah. Well, and Lori's gonna drive us back home in my truck,
Okay.
and then I'll drive back.
Okay.
And that's okay. You know, um, uh, I'm going to be starting another disciple class in June with my church. And Rick finished building 2 more raised garden platforms for me. And so I'll post a picture of the 4 of them on Facebook because one of them, my son brought me home a tray of strawberries, right? They had
Okay.
9 strawberries, right? Well, by the time I went to plant them, I have 12 because they grew, all their little runners. So a whole platform took up all the strawberries, and that's okay. And I like it because Rick built it to my height, to what I need. So I'll put in some other things before I leave, like lettuce and carrots and radishes, because I buy the tape for the carrots and the radishes and the lettuce.
Oh,
And
that's so good.
I'm telling you, that is so phenomenal. Because then I don't have to weed it. Well, I don't have to weed it anyways, but I don't have to pluck
Hmm.
one seed at a time, you know? And so, you know, life is good. I agree with Ruth.
Hmm.
Life is good. And my daughter Kate, our granddaughter Katie, just came back from a volleyball tournament in New Orleans. And then at the end of June, she has another one in Florida. So Heather went to New Orleans with Katie, and the whole family's going to go to Florida. And Katie will be getting scholarships for volleyball. She's already been going to colleges. She's already had colleges that are watching her because she's so good. And Elise has,
This is such an exciting time in their lives because they're taking that next phase of life, you know, getting out on their own and going to college, and
and,
that's just
and
so exciting.
it's nice to be part of it. I
Hmm.
mean, you we are going to look back on this and say, I was there, I was
Hmm.
part of it, but yet they will have the same memories. My mama was here with me. My mama came and she hugged me, and I got my pictures with them. And so, um, you know, I'm doing a lot of reading, and I'm sure all of us are. And um, Judy, I'm still looking for your first book. It's been sold out on Amazon.
I looked
So,
on Amazon and there are copies available, Deb. So please check again.
okay, I will do that. Yes. So, you know, I talked enough.
Hmm.
Well, good on you, Deb Marks. Sounds like you're gonna have a great summer.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Debbie, thank you so much for sharing. I love the life that you're living. You seem to have, you're just in your perfect spot
Yeah, yeah.
with the
Well,
kids
oh,
and the grandkids.
I forgot to mention popcorn's in, ladies, and so
Okay.
is corn on the cob. And we have 38 tomato plants that we're putting in now. So I'll
Holy,
have tomatoes for sale.
Now, I don't know if any of you put up corn, but I have done it two different ways. And Debbie, you might have even a better way. But I've tried just blanching it on the stove and then
Yeah.
cutting it off the cob and putting it in baggies. And then I date the baggies and put it in the freezer.
Right.
But I discovered that I like the flavor much, much better if I do it in the microwave.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
put
And
about
do you add salt?
No, I take off most of the husk. I still leave the ear covered with the closest husk to the corn kernels, but I take off several layers, but I still leave a layer over it and just
Right.
put about 6 of them in the microwave on just like
Okay.
3 minutes, and then I husk it and cut it off, and the flavor tastes just like fresh corn.
And you don't
neat.
have the steam and the hotness in the house.
But
Yeah,
it
we've been
takes
doing it.
a while because I can only do like 6 ears at a time. And so
Right.
it depends on how much you want to put up. But anyway, then I put it in quart baggies and just date the baggies and put them in my freezer. And I have corn all year.
All year.
Yep.
You just have to make sure you put a teaspoon of salt in each bag because that preserves it.
Okay.
And
Good
do
to know.
you cool it down before
Yes.
you?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, because I can't handle it, and I don't like to, yeah. So,
Yeah. Yes.
but it does take a minute, but I've got a very sharp knife that takes it right off the cob. Now there's all kind of ways to cut it off the cob, but I just do it by hand and put it right into the baggies right off of my cutting board. And it doesn't take terribly long if I just get busy and get it done.
Well, if you're ever looking for the best tool, Pampered Chef has the best tool.
Okay,
If you
good
want
to
to
know.
use that. Rick devised a whole tool for us to use because we do such a large amount.
Right.
That's me handing it. I'm sure you would agree. Holding the corn, I mean, the hands hurt when you're done.
Yep.
So
I love it. I love it though. Debbie, we're still waiting for you to launch your whole homestead videos so we all can learn how to do this correctly.
okay.
I love it. Oh, I think we've been around except for Ada. Ada, would you like to share? I see her microphone is off. Ada, can you hear us? She might be multitasking today. Oh, she clicked her microphone back off. So Ada's probably just listening in. So welcome, Ada. We're glad that you're here. So I want to ask, and we're going to start with Judy again. Well, as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to start with Ruth because Ruth is going to have to jump off here pretty soon. So Ruth, if you could share, do you have any trips planned, anything coming up that you'd like to share, and what the trip is for?
That's an interesting question because my husband and I were just sitting down and saying, let's strategize our summer. We've already got a lot going on.
Okay.
The first one, well, I didn't really mention this before, but we are helping our daughter and son move. So that's got to be, that's a high priority right now. But my brother turned 70 June 9th. So we may pop down to Oklahoma and help him celebrate. And then the next trip is we have a wedding anniversary coming up the 21st. So we'll probably do a couple-day trip there. We're still talking about where that would be, probably still in the state of Kansas. We've
Now, is
got,
that a wedding anniversary for you guys or for someone else?
for us,
Okay.
we will be at 49.
Well,
Bless
happy anniversary.
So thank you. Thank you. And Tom's been really good the last several years of planning a little trip for that anniversary, at least a day trip. And I think this one will be an overnight, and we're still determining what it all looks like and where we're going. We've got a family reunion coming up. That's going to be up in you guys' next neck of the woods. That is July 6th. For
Okay.
all my cousins are getting together, or a lot of them will be up in Delaware State Park, which that probably makes more sense to you guys. I
Yes.
actually been there twice, but you know,
Yes,
it probably makes.
it's just north of Columbus, very, very local for me and Debbie, and not too far for Carmella. She's a little further north, but not too far. It's kind of in between us and Carmella. Yeah.
Carmella, where do you live?
I live in Northwest Ohio. I live in Lima.
Oh, Lima. Yeah, I had an aunt and uncle that lived there, and when we would go up when we were kids, we would go see them in Lima. My mother grew up in more the Bowling Green area,
Mhm.
Okay. Very-
small towns outside of there, like what Weston.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, and then and stuff. And she went to Ohio State, so that's something she never forgot her whole life.
Where my
Dotting
daughter,
the I, the
was
bond,
beautiful.
dotting the I on the Ohio. And then we're going with all of our kids and grandkids to Colorado for a week, and probably half the group will climb a 14er.
Wow.
I am not one of those. I've got enough joint issues that's not what I need to be doing right now, and I probably wouldn't anyway. And I think it is one of the easier ones. They did it several years ago. Some of them did, and this is the first year that our oldest grandson, he's 13, would be old enough to do it. And so Tom wants to do it with his grandson. My husband's 71, so he wants to do it sooner rather than later. And then we've got a trip in the fall scheduled to go to New England. And then I hope that's pretty much it, because I think I'm going to be tripped out.
I get it. I get it. Yeah, we just have the Florida one coming in June, and then in August we're doing Savannah, just Savannah, Georgia, just for a long weekend, and we're going to meet up with some friends down there. And then in September, October, tentatively, we're on the books for London, Paris for about 10
Ooh.
days. But I just got an email yesterday, and of course I wasn't in the office, but I just got an email yesterday that one leg of our flight has been canceled. So I have to figure out, since I don't want to swim across the ocean to get there, if I can book another flight. So I have to work on that this week. Yeah. So Judy, how about you?
Oh boy. You're sorry you asked. Do any of you know a woman named Suleika Doad? She wrote a book called Between Two Journeys. And I'm crying. She was planning to go overseas for her junior year abroad, and she started feeling ill. And she thought, well, it'll pass. And she flew over, and it turned out she had leukemia.
Oh,
And she came home and had massive doses of radiation and chemo and beat it. And a boy that she met when they were at Interlochen when they were 15 years old is a guy named John Batiste, who just got the Academy Award the Grammy Award for Album of the Year. So they got married in 2022, and
okay.
everything is peaches and cream. And about a month ago, her leukemia came back.
Oh,
So I'm very close to this woman. She has a website, and I think it's called, oh boy, I always get the name wrong. Well, I'll send it to you later.
okay.
But it's like Isolation Journal. That's not quite right. But she posts every week, and then she invites all of us who are subscribing to respond with our own posts. And she's just absolutely magical. I fell in love with her, and then I found out who John was. John was on with what's his name from 60 Minutes, Mike Wallace. And he sat down at the piano, and Mike Wallace said, "So I hear you're pretty good at the piano." And he starts playing Für Elise by Beethoven, I think. And then he laughs and he says, "Or I can do it jazz." And he flips it into jazz.
That's talent.
Oh, and then he said, of course, there's always gospel. And he flips it into gospel. And Mike Wallace is gobsmacked. So I fall in love with Salika, and then I fall in love with John. And the long story short, finally, is on June 28th, I'm going to Tanglewood with my friend Carolyn, who lives over in Paxton, Massachusetts, and we're going to see John Batiste in concert.
Oh,
And
so I'm so excited for you. How fun is that?
Pretty fun. I connected with him on Instagram, and we've been having this conversation for about 2 months. My daughter says, Mom, that is a fake. That's somebody who's after your money. Don't give them anything. So I finally wrote him back one day and I said, look, I'm not going to be able to communicate any longer, but here's the deal. When you're on stage at Tanglewood, you recognize me and I'll know it's really you. But what I really want to do at Tanglewood is I want to meet Salika.
Now, do you think you'll get the opportunity? Is there a way to get backstage passes or something special while you're there?
Oh, there was $1,000 a ticket to get backstage.
Oh, okay. Ouch.
And I said, honey, I've got 2 nickels. I can't afford that. And he said, okay, we'll give you a discount, $100. And I came this close to doing it. And my daughter was like in my ear. And she threatened to call all of my friends and tell them what I was doing because I was so naughty.
So you didn't buy it?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
So
but you're still going to the concert and you're going to get to see him in person.
And I'm very excited. And then in July, what would have been our 38th wedding anniversary is the 19th of July. And when I was booking my travels down to Antarctica, the fellow I was working with is a master. I don't know what the right word is, hooker. He kept saying, well, what's your next one? What's your next cruise? And I said, Adam, I don't want to take another cruise. He goes, come on, any place you want to go. I said, well, do you have one that covers the 19th of July? And he goes, tap, 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 tap. And he goes, oh, you mean the one that starts in London and goes around the UK and Ireland and then ends in France? And I said, oh, shit. Yeah, that one. And so on the 11th of July, I'm flying to London. And then I get on the ship on the 12th and go up and go around. And I have trips off, excursions, they're called,
Okay.
in Edinburgh and Glasgow and Dublin and Cork. And I am so jazzed.
That's a trip of a lifetime. Now, I'm good with that, except you've got to take these adjoining, flights to get there. And sometimes the flights get canceled at the last moment. And then you have to scurry around and find another flight that fits in between the other two so that you don't miss your flights.
I hear you. What a damn shame.
So that's what I'm struggling with right now. And it's not the first one that canceled or the last one. It's the middle one, the one over the ocean.
And one more note on this trip. On Instagram, it's my downfall, I'll tell you that. There's a chef and his name is Andre, Andre with a J at the end. And he's in London. And I wrote to him and I said, I love your videos. He does filleting of fish and he's on number 16 now. He wants to do every fish in the ocean. Okay, fine. I said, is there a do you have a restaurant so I can come have lunch? He said, no, but I have courses and you're welcome to join one. So I'm going to spend an hour or 2 with Andre before I get on my ship.
And I was jealous of Ruth. I needed to hold up and be jealous of Judy.
Hopelessly romantic. That's what I am.
How fun though. Good for you. Good for you.
So that's the end of
I love
Judy,
that.
Judy, the name of the book is Between Two Kingdoms.
Oh, right. Kingdoms. Thank you so much, Debbie Marks.
And that is a mouthful of a name.
And it's the long I, Suleika, not Sulika, Suleika.
I
Yes,
love it.
yes. So,
I
and
love
it's
it.
editor's pick on Amazon.
It should be. It's absolute. I couldn't get 3 pages into it before I was bawling,
Oh,
just bawling. Carmella, you can relate.
I love it though. I love to read. I probably go through a book or two a week. So yeah, that one's going to be on my list. Carmella, how about you? Do you have any trips coming up other than running back and forth between a daughter and a mother? You're on mute.
Let's see, I have a baby shower this Saturday. Vacation Bible school, and then Farley wants to head back to Maryland.
Okay.
Um,
Now, are you already renting the house in Maryland? How's that going?
I was, and the person backed out. And
Ah,
so, and then we had a family member, Farley reminded me, they haven't sent their copy of the key back, was using it for a graduation party. So a few weeks ago, actually Mother's Day weekend, and we didn't go because we had too much going on here. I have a concert coming up at the end of the month, I think, or maybe it's July. I'm going to go see Rick Springfield and Richard Marx.
wow. In
I saw-
Columbus?
No, I think they're in Dayton or Cincinnati.
Okay, okay.
I saw Rick last year, which was like really cool. And he was like right there to talk to him, when you're an old groupie, and I remember him when he was on General Hospital.
I know, I
I was
know.
young, and I had my crush then. My daughter just doesn't understand. Like, who is that? And so I like
Well,
catching.
Mark always says if Sally Fields shows up, that all bets are off. And I told him if Denzel Washington shows up, all bets are off.
Woo, that's right.
Yeah, that would be it. So um and then I told my dad I like to go to Nashville to see some family and check in. So usually my trips are spur of the moment. It's funny because a picture popped up on my Facebook from a memory where Farley and we would always just like some days get up, especially the weekend. Let's go here. Like one time we drove to, and actually we're supposed to be going to Chicago to see friends sometime, but we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and
Mhm.
and my pastor's like, he says, "Did you see I posted on your page?" And I'm like, "Posted what?" And I hadn't even been on to see. And he's like, "I knew you guys were rock stars. Farley's got the bass guitar and I have the mic."
I saw that. I saw that. I love it.
I go, "Well, I was thinner there." but
Weren't we
you,
all, Carmella? Weren't we all? Hey, it's
I'm,
all good.
I'm helping a girl on her campaign, and I'm just kind of busy like moving around there. So,
Mhm.
with me, it's like sometimes things pop up. So, but yep, I have a feeling it's going to be a busy one. It would be nice if Jade would she said she doesn't want a big wedding. So I'm looking for her to probably do a destination thing and then have a big reception.
Now, when is that scheduled?
I don't know. So she'll let me
Okay.
probably at the last minute. Of course, Mom, just show up.
Hey, and
So,
you know what? She's totally capable. So my guess is it'll be gorgeous, whatever she decides.
that's the thing. And, she said and it's funny because I listened to a news article the other day and I sent it to her. If you're in a wedding, bridesmaids and stuff, they spend anywhere to $2,000, $2,500 just to be in the wedding. You think of the bridal shower,
Hmm.
looking at spending. And one of her friends, for one of the bridal shower, she wanted to go to the Dominican and stay in this mansion, but everybody was like, it's a little expensive. And going that far when they were looking at the prices, plus the price per person to stay in this mansion for a weekend. And they end up going to Miami and still spend a lot, but it's kind of tough. And she says, I don't want to put my friends through that because now a lot of them have kids and things. And she's like, I just couldn't do it. And I don't want to have to choose one person because I don't want people, you know, I feel obligated. It's like, because I was in your wedding, you have to be in mine. But then, you know, and all this stuff, she said, so I just want everybody to get along.
Well, and she's at that age where, you know, she's probably been invited to be in all these other weddings, and then it does make it kind of awkward.
Yeah. And that's,
Yeah.
I think she was in 1 year. And the
Wow.
1 year she was in 2 weddings back-to-back weekends. Started off with Labor Day and then the weekend after Labor Day. And
Wow.
she goes, I can't be your maid of honor. I'm sorry. I'll be a bridesmaid. I'm already a maid of honor in the wedding after yours. And she goes, that's just too much for me right
Yeah.
now. I would have probably said, okay, and been stressed out. See, that's nothing like her mother.
Oh, I just love that we've all been able to share today and just connect. That's what it's about. It is the holiday week, so it was fun hearing what everybody's weekend plans were about and everybody's trips coming up. Ruth had to jump off because she's doing the book club. Debbie jumped off to join Ruth on the book club. I'm going to RSVP so I can get the replay. And I appreciate you, Judy and Carmella. Thank you so much for coming on. Ada had to jump off and get back to work. She was doing double duty in the background. So I just appreciate everybody coming today because I know it was a little off schedule because of the holiday, but thank you so much. And don't forget, check in on kathybinner.com. That will take you to my homepage. You can find all of our replays there. And if you want to connect with each other, I did put a little menu at the bottom of the replays with everybody's connect information. So that if you wanted to look somebody else up that's been on the call in the past and you want to connect with them, feel free to do that. So again, thank you for being with us today, and we will see everyone next time. So have a great weekend.
You as well.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.